So how do cooperatives go about allocating equity and patronage on an annual basis? So what they typically do is allocate an amount based on the members' activity in particular categories. So an agricultural co-op, for example, it might be an allocation based on the amount of corn that they sold back to the cooperative. It might be 2 cents for every bushel of corn. It could be an electric cooperative, the amount of usage that that particular member had. So you can allocate equity and patronage based on a particular category. In some cases, it might be all of the business that you do with that cooperative. You can also allocate it in different ways. So you can allocate patronage, which is based on the amount of money that the cooperative made on an annual basis. You could do an allocation on a per unit retain, where you basically say, for any corn you bring in, we're going to pay you a penny back as kind of a rebate in the per unit retains concept. You can allocate deductions, tax deductions. There's a special Section 199 deduction that you can allocate to your members. And there are other things like work opportunity credits that can be allocated as well too. These dividends can actually be considered qualified or non-qualified, and that has to do with who pays the taxes and how you can access those dividends. And then you can set a rate or a dollar amount per quantity of a category. And as I mentioned, that could be based on the number of dollars spent. So you could say, we're going to give a rebate of 17 cents for every $100 that you've spent on agronomy products. It could be a penny on every bushel of corn that you brought in. You have the ability then for each of those categories to allocate a different rate. And then finally, you decide what percentage of that allocation should be paid out this year in the form of a patronage dividend or kept at the cooperative in the form of allocated equity. So oftentimes a cooperative might say 50% is going to be paid out in cash and 50% will be held in allocated equity for future years.